Good afternoon, everyone. I will not be long because I'm the last one, but I hope that from the provinces, like they say in the Philippines, since I'm based in Cebu for 22 years, we will bring some innovation, I would say, to the real estate market. And I was a bit nerdy because there was written revolution, so I did my homework properly. A couple of years, by the way, I started to work in the Philippines as a financial analyst because I had to do due diligence to a company. Then I fall in love for the wood, the technique, and especially the great people. The Filipino craftsman has been unbelievable. So I transformed myself in a furniture maker, and then, I don't know, designer, creative person. I'm not an architect, I'm not an engineer, but what I will show has been done just by myself and my great workers that they're working with me for about 20 years. And this is the basic. Since also in Cebu, doing a lot of projects, we did the Crimson, the New World, the Shangri-La, we did so many hotels, the Radisson. We really did a lot of projects since the export drop in 2008, 2009. We have been able to diversify into interior and hotel, which is very related to real estate. And so we can go with some quick presentation that I did just in a few hours yesterday, I'm very sorry. But we can go very quick because I think that in this country, and since I also observe the economy of this country, we have seen this skyrocketing price of the real estate in Cebu as well. The land has amazing prices. So since I also move forward in a project that I will expose very soon, I also start to have option to lease the land in order to paralyze less capital to the investment in the land and to develop more the construction, because probably being also Italian, we want also to take care of quality of living. And the most important things that I noticed recently, absolutely, and is very important, is this sustainability. Everyone is full of this word, but the application, allow me to say, with all the respect to everyone, is kind of a minimal. So I will show in a while. Let's go ahead with the... now, Echo, there is a little video here. I don't know if you can activate the video. This is the latest things I did in Cebu. Urban resort I did. The very complicated things of this building is that if you notice in some of the details, there are in every joint there are metal plates inserted in the wood beams and wood columns that is bolted in an average of 24 to 36 bolts for every joint. In any corner, in any angle, you can see nature here. As even though we are, I repeat, in the city center, you can see the palm from here, you can see the mango trees, and everything is open. Believe me, that image is 1,600 meters from IT Park. Since I'm a passionate tennis player, I took over an old tennis club, and I destroyed everything, and I created in 7 months, using only wood, this urban resort. Is called Asmara Urban Resort and Lifestyle Village. In some way, it looks like a step backward, because here I heard so much about high tech. Instead, apparently, it looks like going backward. But we can go ahead, because I really make an interpretation of several aspects. I don't want to become a developer or things like that, but I want to give my contribution to the Philippines and to Cebu, who hosted me safely for 22 years. So I designed, we can move forward. I designed a building that I think is perfectly fitted for this country. Why? First of all, it's really sustainable because it's done with pine wood, spruce. It's a plantation tree. In the whole Europe is abundant of it. Ah, stop. I am quite illiterate in computer things, so I only work still by my pencil. So, but then I have a great AutoCAD operator that they do all the drawings, the executive drawings. And so what I wanted to explain here, I made a sequence of pictures, and those are really January 5, 2018. We posted the first column of this building, which is in any case the same technology. You can go further. The same technology of the airport of Cebu that has been done. And I can show you that in several weeks, exactly 12 weeks, we assembled 950 square meters of wood structure, and is a building that can sustain earthquake, can sustain termite, water, and typhoon of any kind. Personally, I love this job, so I stay always on site when I do these kind of things. And it was the first kind of building ever done in this style. Like you see, March 26, we were already done with the wood structure. And wait a moment, we can go further. This is already the bathroom, the kitchen, because we did a restaurant and we did several other facilities for a tennis club. Okay, we can stop for a while. Excuse me, next one. I don't remember anymore the sequence. Anyway, this is the upper floor. So we did 2 stories. It's a 7-meter height. Like you see, it's immersed in an area where there are even coconut trees. So I use the rules of the Philippines, like in Boracay or certain other places, to stay below the coconut trees. That's the reason I want to highlight. This building can be used in the Philippines as a resort, as hotel, as airport, as hospital, as school, in case of calamities. Anyway, July 9 was my birthday, and so January 5, July 9, 6 months, 180 days, it was done. There was also the restaurant in operation, and July 16 was the final of the World Cup, and we were able to host more or less 200 persons. And this is the technical part of those kind of technology that could have an help in a country where today we heard that everything is moving fast, and this is one solution, of course, not for high-rise building, but the professor and the civil engineer who did the computation for my building is also a consultant for an Italian company that worked with Japanese to do the high-rise building on in wood, and also is a professor at 2 university. And in fact, probably several of you already heard that there are several development in wood high-rise building. But I will never go into that, but is a reality. And the next part, I wanted to go very extreme. This is the Department of Tourism, Miss Romolo Puyat, who I was very pleased to host, and she was extremely impressed. And in front of us, of me, there was Kenneth Cobon, other people. She had a phone call with the president of the Philippines, Duterte, to say, we have here from Cebu people that ask rules, because I recommended also her, which I think is a person extremely competent, to do nationwide certain rules, especially for the island, for the big city like Manila and Cebu or other city. The urban planning is already a bit difficult to do, but at least to do some nationwide guideline after what happened in Boracay. But this is a territory where I don't want to enter, but she was really very impressed by this building. This is the swimming pool area. We can go on to the next thing. Stop here, please. What is that reverse pyramid? In Cebu, like in Manila, there is a serious shortage of water, and so I made the roof of the building incline, and so we collect water. And from the super high-tech that we were talking, we go backward like the Romans. We collect water from the roof and we put in the cistern. And then with the solar panel, I pump the water on tanks at 6-7 meter high, and so is an additional sustainability factor to the Asmara urban resort. So not only the structure is made of pine wood, which is super sustainable, but also we collect water. We collect water because this property, I want to give an example, I want to stimulate architect, engineer, everyone, that even for high-rise building, storing water is a serious, give a serious impact to the city because avoid floods, and in Cebu, 35 to 40% of the people has no water access at home. And this is a thing, so those are numbers that sometimes people don't highlight. So, here, sorry, here there is a little video to show how it works. This, here, when it rains, yeah, it's very emotional and spectacular. It's very beautiful, even when it rains in Cebu, you go there and it's a beautiful, thank you. I saw children, I saw adults. When there is bad weather, normally we don't like, but instead everyone, including myself, it makes my skin rough every time because it's a very emotional thing, like when you go sailboat to catch the wind, but to collect the water and you visualize it, sorry to say, has been a very beautiful idea. And actually we badly need, because the last month we have had practically only 2 days of rain, and we had to buy trucks of water, like it's been done in the past. But in the last 10 months that I am in the operation, we never buy any more water, which means someone else use it at least. And then we avoid floods eventually because we retain the water. I don't know if I mentioned, this water that we collect from the roof go under 2 cisterns under the building. We refilter 100% of the water and we utilize completely for bathroom, for garden, because we have an organic garden. We have the best pizza in Visayas made with the purified water. This is the concept of Asmara that in some way this urban resort, sorry, going back to what has been said today, in Cebu we don't have any more time to go to Mactan to enjoy a mojito, so I moved the resort inside the city. But it was an occasion and it's a land that I would have never able to buy, and the owners has been very kind to lease for me only for 10 years. But I have enough white hair and I have to give back to the Philippines what the Philippines gave to me. So, but yeah, I think many architects, many interior designers, everyone find very appealing this project. Sorry to say, but it's okay. A few years ago, by the way, I developed another concept because I noticed that now we always think of Manila and Cebu, we think of this call center, we think of this call sharing, whatever, but instead we have this beautiful country that need a lot of hotels, a lot of rooms. So in my simple way, again, I design I call it bungalow, that is, again, with the same technique, and I swear to whatever I can prove it. In 7 days, we can assemble anyway. In Siargao, we assemble in a beautiful beach. This one was when the material comes from Italy, by the way, because I found a company with a good technology. This is inside my factory where we make a test, and then if you can go to the next picture, we ship to Siargao, and then can we go to the next, please? This is still inside my factory when we study how to do it. And then, again, low tech, because it's just enough to have a screwdriver to assemble it. It's enough big. Go to the next, please. And here we are assembled in one of the most beautiful beach in Siargao. And go to the next. And then everyone can do, you see, beachfront is already 2 years that is there. And despite wind, small typhoon or whatever, is super resistant. All those beams has been computed against wind at 165 kilometers per hour, And I saw, and I am also a furniture supplier of some desperate developer that they always go 6 months, 9 months, 1 year delay. So this technology, I think, is also, I decided to show to all of you, because also in the real estate, whatever, I don't think there is an additional cost, but the time is an unbelievable issue. And so even project hotels, when they keep on going in delays, the developer become quite nervous because it's revenue that are going away. And since the country economy is so hot, anyone that want to do a 24 or 30 rooms, here we are. This is a model that I make 40 square meters, but can be done in a different way. And this is the, let's say, the part of the revolution. It's not a revolution. Prefabricated house has been invented a long time ago. And is the way that I think, knowing the Philippines for 22 years, could be an help in the real estate area to develop also other technology. And not really, I mean, a very important factor is that this wood structure, people is always scared that termites and everything are super treated, has been installed in Africa. They even do entire cover of stadium where there are 30, 40, 50,000 spectators in some soccer field. This is another chapter. Since I'm not an architect, I'm not an engineer, but I like to think. But we were talking at the very, very beginning, some introduction, there is no more space in the Philippines, how to, we don't have space. So I couldn't afford to buy big land in Maria Luisa in Cebu, but I found this little horrible piece of land that nobody really ever think to buy, except a neighbor there that wanted just to stretch his garden. But I want to show you that with thinking and just with a pencil, we can go to the next picture. I created something. I design since that I design a house that is called Bridge House, and I use a bridge. I build a bridge because the land was 40 meters long and only 12 meters wide, and so respecting the rules, I had 3 meters front and 2 meters back, so I have only 8 meters possibility to do the building. So it's like a bridge. I create a bridge, the basement in cement, the upper part in metal, and this is done in 2010 in only 18 months, again with my simple worker teams. Let's go ahead. I make a very simple scheme, and here you can see the position of this house in that little rock. Practically I bought a piece of land that was nothing. It was an unbelievable degree. And then go ahead, yeah, this is more or less the same. It's been perfectly inserted in that little piece of land. This is the way that I try to do project fast. I have to stay on top of it personally, and then things work. Go ahead. And that was that little piece of land. I just raised the level of the ground floor, and then go ahead, and go ahead. And this one is the house when it's been finished. Since I am an out-of-the-box person, so I took the liberty, instead to do the stairs, I make the ramp, because if I would have done the stairs, is double the space. I would have cut all the beautiful area in front practically in a corridor. Instead, using the ramp is more beautiful. And yeah, we can go the next. There are my architecture. Ecco, this is, you can see the house, how it came out from almost the front. And it's an architecture of emotion. I just designed and did for myself, but it's possible to do these things in the Philippines, and it came out an extremely interesting project. Gain space utilization, since I'm not a landlord and I only can buy a very few square meters. This is a small example. I have only a couple of pictures. It's the first project that I did is the lot is 189 square meters, because among the talks there were also the low-cost housing or whatever. 189 square meters, more or less the same picture, and I developed a 166 full-decking house that have 3 bedrooms, studio, kitchen, maid quarter, garage, and 3 bathrooms in that little house. And perfectly comfortable. I didn't show the inside, but it's really a little jewelry of, I would say, Japanese architecture. Really miniature, but okay. In fact, there is a family of 6 that is living in that house right now. But it was the first one I did in the Philippines to study the costing before doing my big one. And I discovered that I love design when, this is another example instead, that this is the house I have in Italy. Unfortunately, nobody uses it. Is the how to, this is near Tuscany, but always, I only want to show these things not for anything, but the material, this is Japanese styles, and also to always think a little bit out of the box. And I bought an old house that was built, existing there. I completely destroyed and inserted in a modern way. I think already, this one is a small example how to, even in a countryside, traditional like Tuscany, do something modern that I think it blends quite well. And I'm mentioning this because I noticed that in Maria Luisa, and I think also now in Forbes or in many other areas, there are a lot of houses that probably is better to trim it down and make something completely new. So this is my little contribution to the world of the architecture, and I say thank you to everyone. Bye.